What up, brothers? It's the Clipper King returning, and no, it's not Groundhog Day, and no, you haven't pressed play again on the Hot Toys Amazing Spider-Man review. You've tuned in tonight for the Medicom version of the Amazing Spider-Man. Move in and show you the figure. I will say I kind of alluded to getting this figure last night in the Hot Toys version review. I asked you to watch tonight's review because it would have some bearing and possibly some comparisons on the figure I reviewed last night, the Hot Toys version. But I'm going to say I'm going to try and not constantly go back to the Hot Toys version while I'm reviewing this. I want to review it. It's going to be hard, actually. I want to review it as if I'd not seen the Hot Toys version before. I don't want to constantly keep flitting back to the Hot Toys does this and the Medicom one does this. I don't want to do that simply because it will kill my next video idea, which is to compare. I'll probably compare this to the Hot Toys version and also the classic Hot Toys red and blue version. So that will be coming up over the next few days. So like I said, although it is the same character, it's made by two different manufacturers. They've both got some strong points. Both got some weak points as well. But like I said, I really want to review this, give it a fair review. I'm going to score it as I see it, like I always do. I'm going to try and get some posers, show you the limits of the figure, show you the things it brings, and yeah, get some scores on the doors. So before I roll on, I just want to say again, like I did last night, anybody who watched me Evil Superman review, which were like a couple of reviews back, it was sent to me by Lee Ward, a good friend of mine at The Good, The Bad and The Robots. Did put a special offer on that review, a reduced rate figure and free shipping. He's told me today a couple of people have took him up on that offer. They did quote the review to him, and he has sold 2 of those figures. So massive respect to the 2 guys who bought it. I don't know who they are, so I give him a name check. But anybody who is interested in the evil version of Superman, pop across to The Good, The Bad and The Robots, the online site, or talk to Lee Ward through Facebook, or talk to me through Facebook, and we'll see about getting you that figure at a nice price. So yeah, without further ado, we'll roll her on it. Right, I think bit of interest. We'll get this turning. See, I've got the mirrored top turntable. I'm going to be rotating her up, not using a stand, and I'll explain why later in the review. Give you a good look around the Medicom version. I will go back actually. Somebody put in one of the comments on the review I did last night, buy yourself a tripod. I have got a tripod. In fact, I've got 2. I've got sort of a desktop tripod and a full-size tripod. I do use them for certain things, but I don't use them for reviewing because I want to show the figure as I look at it, as I'm looking around. So when I'm reviewing, I'm looking constantly through the viewfinder, and the things I try to film are the things of interest I find. I don't just want to plonk it in one place, about that far away, give you no detail, constantly be zooming in and out and messing with pixel ratio. I don't want to fuck about like that. I would sooner say, if I want to talk to you about the eyes, I want to be able to do that and show you as I look at it. If that's not your style and you don't like that, then I would say tune to another channel. But yeah, that just clarifies that point. So let's roll on, get some scores on the doors. The first category obviously is the source material. I explained my thoughts on it last night, and I don't expect you to jump back and watch that review and this one sort of in tandem, so I'm going to tell you my thoughts again on this film. I really did enjoy it. Like I said, it was one of the summer blockbusters of last year. I suppose when you compared it to the Avengers and the Dark Knight Rises, it were always going to come out in 3rd place. It were a retelling of a story we'd seen not too long back, although I think they did it really well. The only downside to the film was the lizard, and not so much the character of the lizard, more the animation of the lizard. It came across very, I don't know if Star Wars-ish or young or whatever. It's sort of kid-friendly came across to me, although they get in the sharp nails and everything. I just never, I don't know, never really feared him and never felt for Spider-Man that he'd got to fight him sort of thing. So that was the only downside to the film. I did see the 3D version and it worked for me. I know a lot of people said nah, it weren't enough and you could see the 3D were an afterthought. Some people do think a lot deeper about films or effects than I do. I just enjoyed it. I think the bits that were 3D did come across good. I did like the wall crawling and swinging from Spidey's eye view. I think that worked really well. Yeah, not much more I can say about it. I'm looking forward to the second part. So like I said, I did enjoy it, but I would never class it as a classic all-time film. So again, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. And let me just explain something here. I don't know if it's because of the amount of red inside this cabinet, but this camera for some reason is coming across with like sort of an orange haze, and I don't know why. It's done it before on a couple of reviews, but hopefully when I get the box out of the background, it'll find the white, it'll sense the white sort of thing and give you more accurate colours. But yeah, just talk about the figure. Just put him in a natural looking pose. I will say I do like that, and it is a strength of this figure. He's well balanced, and I think his dimensions are really accurate. So I do think a pose like that works a treat with it. But like I said, we'll get into that in more in depth as we move on. Rolling on to the packaging, and the first thing that struck me when I took it out the outer packaging box was how small it was, how slim it is. It's only just wider than my hand. It's, I don't know, not very tall, obviously not very deep. Yeah, so it pretty much, to be honest, it more reminds, this is going to sound weird and all, it comes across as a toy box. And when I say toy box, I'm talking about a £20, £30 action figure box. I knew this is my second Medicom figure. I had the Last Stand Wolverine, and that came in a very similar box to this. It's very much just a way to get your figure to you. There's nothing presentation about it as such. It's as if they're sort of expecting you to shred the figure out of box and chuck box away, which I know some collectors do. I personally don't. I like to save the box, and I do like to keep the box in good condition. Not so I can display them in the box, but so I can sell them on, and it is as if the next person's getting a shop condition figure. So I do like the box. So like I say, it does come across as an afterthought, just a way to get it to you sort of thing. It does have a lot of the writing on, like here. Obviously you get the company name, sorry, the Real Action Heroes, Amazing Spider-Man, a shot of the figure, another shot of the figure on the back, little write up here. Pause it if you want to read it. I don't know if anybody even ever does that. When people say in reviews, pause it if you want to read it. I don't know if anybody ever says, oh fucking hell, let me pause that and read what it says, because it's really that interesting. I'm sure they don't, but I'm going to be cliche and say, pause it if you want to read it. Coming around, another shot of the figure. It has got a magnet front, magnet somewhere here. Pop it open, and couple more shots of the figure inside. Looks like it's got really yellow lenses on this picture. In fact, on all the pictures really. Shows you what comes, and then obviously the figure's inside. Nothing to write home about, and I don't know why I've already spent like over 2 minutes talking about this packaging. The artwork's not bad. They are all figure shots, but like I said, a couple of things just bother me with it. If you're going to put a shot of your figure on, try and make your figure look best it can look. So on front here, we put a picture down here with his fucking neck crease to fuck, and then a picture on here, the big picture, with his fucking fabric on his neck crease to fuck. Who's going to look at that and think, oh yeah, that looks accurate. Let me pick that figure up with its creased neck. Looks like a fucking foreskin wrapped around his fucking neck, and that's his bell end. Sorry for young viewers, I know it's Spider-Man, I shouldn't really be saying it, but that's what it looks like. And like I said, there's nothing presentation about it. It's lightweight card. It's got a fucking foreskin and bell end up front, and I'm only giving it a 2 out of 5. Rolling on to likeness, or facial likeness, or head sculpt, whatever you want to call it. Just move up, show you the pose. Got him as if his right foot and right hand are holding the wall. He's just about to push off, cast a web with his left. He's already sort of rotating himself, so he's about to swing away. So gone for an articulated pose on this one, although it's the head I really want to get to. Getting nice and close so you can see. Right, first and foremost, it's a sculpted head, so it does have the sort of the dimpled texture like in the movie. It has got the black lines on. Now, because it is a sculpted head, there's no seams anywhere, which I personally like, because there's no sort of build-up of material or unnatural look about it. But then people will say, well, it is by definition unnatural because it should move around. It is a mask with an head inside. I know, and it comes down to personal taste for me, this. Some people will say it's too perfect shaped, but I want my Spider-Man to look like it's just fucking jumped off a comic book page. And that, for me, is what you get here. The other one, like I said, I don't want to do too many comparisons, but when it's sort of a glaring difference between them, I think it's worth a mention. So yeah, it is an hard sculpted head. I think the eyes are really, really good. If you look into the eye, and to be honest, I'm at a funny angle here, so I don't know really what I'm showing you. If you look into the eye, the sort of stainless steel meshing behind the lens makes it come across really reflective. And this is the thing I can't understand about the packaging, what I was alluding to. It comes across as piss yellow. The figure isn't like that. It's like a stainless steel look, and it's really good, and it catches the light really, really good. Gives him kind of a menacing yet accurate look, I think. So I really like that about it. Like I said, there's no hideous seam down there or under the neck. It is a sculpt on top of a fabric neck. To bring it away, so I can sort of get around it. As you move around to the back, you see the shape of the head. They've tried to sort of blend it so wherever it is on the neck it will look natural, but there's some place obviously where that's not going to be the case, because sort of if you put it in one position it sort of moves this section away from the neck a little bit, then you tip his head another way and you sort of get the overlap of material. It never looks a mess. You never look to think, oh, that looks fucking hideous. But it is worth a mention because, like I said, it's not a one piece of cloth from his head down onto his neck. I could put him back there. So yeah, basically the pose. I really like the pose actually. Just give you some angles. I take some photos as well, get them on Facebook and Sideshow Freaks. But yeah, I do like that, and I do like the likeness. I think it represents the film really, really good. So I'm going to give it a, I don't know, is it perfect? I don't think it is perfect, and if I said it were, I might be lying to you. But it is really, really good. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I hope you like that pose, brother, because I'm quite keen. Right, rolling on to outfit. And I will say, I pretty much picked this figure up because I saw some discussions that were going on the Sideshow Freaks about which version is better, and this version does this and this version has that, and I just thought, fuck it, if I can find one at rate price, I'm going to get it. It's going to be worth picking up. It's a Spider-Man at the end of the day. If I can get one at a nice price, I'll get it and have a look myself. I don't want to take the word of others when I can have a look on my own. So anyway, I ordered it, got EMS, got it here fast, and luckily it turned up the day after the Hot Toys version, so I was buzzing about that. I will say, when I buy a figure, I pretty much start scoring it in my mind as sort of the prejudgment of it, which is never really a good thing to do, but it is what I do. The honest truth is I start thinking, I see the joints, I know that's going to do that. Like with the Hulk, I saw it and I thought, yeah, this is going to be like this and blah, 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 and this is going to be like that. And that's what I started doing. I thought the outfit would be the downfall of the figure. Bit shaky a minute, let me show you it pose. I'm fucking get my arm in a natural position. Pretty much got him falling from the sky. Gawky. Just trying to get his bearings together. Again, got him nice and articulated. Held up with that lovely new Goblin stand. A fucking poser's dream come true. I can show you that from every angle. That is beautiful. You know, sometimes people say, fucking hell, Clipper, some of them posers, mate, Jesus, where do you think I'm up? But then sometimes I look at some myself and I think, fucking, that is not enough praise. Sorry, I did throw a few jokes in, but the honest truth is, I do some poses and I think, oh yeah, I like that one. That one's going to catch eye, and I think I've got one there. That is lovely. Oof. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, I pretty much thought the outfit were going to be the downfall of the figure. I thought he'd got a pleather look about it. I thought he forced the body where the body didn't want to go, and I just thought it. I've seen some pictures, and I don't know if it were the collector's inability to position the suit or what it were. I can't even remember which collector it were, but everywhere he had it, it sort of looked like the suit didn't fit him, and I thought that must be the case then. But I will say, when I opened it, it is the one category that I'm most pleasantly surprised about, because when you get him stood in a natural position, like probably the first pose sort of thing, you'll realise it's not as bad as you think. And I suppose it rooks up in the place where the real suit would rook up, so I sort of forgive it a little bit. Tell you the things I like. Firstly, I've mentioned the head sculpt. Obviously, there's no seams. There's no awkward seam sort of down the front of his neck, although there is a seam that sort of comes down this side and under the arm, and down this side and under the arm, but it never really gets in way. It's pretty much the perfect place to put it. I will say the stitching on this one is really good. I do like the sleeve lengths. Like I said, it rooks up there, but that's pretty much down to position of the arm. I will say the web casters are in the right place, and the length of the sleeve always goes onto glove, or nearly always. You'd have to be pretty extreme for it not to reach, and I think it sits pretty natural, although it does rook up a tiny bit. But I'd sooner have that than it not reach the glove. So here, because I've got the hand bent back, you can see the peg a little bit, but you see the web shooter is in the right place. It fits his form, his chest and abdomen really nice. Down his legs really nice. It does rook up a little bit around the knees, but that's sort of for you to sort of pull the suit either upwards or downwards, get them creases out and then position it. The only place where you can never really sort that problem out is the ankle. Now there is good articulation in the ankle, but it's sort of, I don't know if the length of the leg is that long. You can sort of pull that up and it'll like sort of pull the crease out, but then as soon as you move the foot again, it sort of traps some costume in there, and I'm sure, oh man, I've got that boot folded back. See, it pulls it out, but then if I were to put that foot flat again, it traps some more suit back in there, so that does look a bit awkward. Another thing, and I ain't got a fucking clue, but it looks like he's got these, I don't know, massive bobbles just above the ankles, sort of not quite mid-shin, but a little bit up the shin, and it is on both sides. Don't know why it's there, no idea. You feel underneath, it's obviously some kind of padded suit underneath, and that's what's sort of giving it that bobbled effect sort of there and on the other leg. But everywhere else it fits in really nice. I will say it is sort of a plasticky feeling, and sometimes when I'm pulling it to extreme for certain poses, I'm always looking at the stitching. I'm thinking, is the stitching going to rip this? Now I'll be honest and say it's never, and I've got it pretty extreme at times, it never really looks that tight that it is going to pull it apart. So I think the suit is either better material than I've given it credit for, or the sort of flexibility in the suit makes allowances for it. The detail on it's pretty good. There is certain things that I think they could have, sort of the dark blue stripes, see the highlight sections here, the piping. On the camera it's actually showing up a lot more than in hand, which is unusual because it's normally the other way around, but it sort of blends into the blue that they've used in hand. Obviously I've got a light on the camera, so that's why it's not fading into the other blue. Also the webbing and everything does look good and does look pretty accurate to the pictures I've seen, so yeah. Another odd thing, and I don't really understand this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this stand now somewhere to show you. The sort of silver trim on his boot, or on this one, I don't know if it's the same on all of them, it actually looks like a set of sandals round a sock. Look at the ankle there, or the back part of his foot, and sort of the silver highlighted section doesn't really fit onto his foot right. It's like a front section which goes over the toe. The sort of, I don't know if they're like running shoes, or I don't know, football boot bottoms, or the sucker pads or whatever they are. But that is an hard section, but the foot is like quite soft. It's a material sort of thing. But like if you look inside here, it doesn't fit onto the thing. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be or if it's just that that's come away. It doesn't look like it's come away because I don't think it would have done it on both feet. But you see how the strap don't really fit flush to the foot? It's not a problem. It was just a thing I noticed. I thought, why the fuck is it like that? But like I say, it looks more like a sandal on top. Whoa, you fucker. Let me just fucking get him set up. He's just about to take a nosedive. Yeah, like there. Looks like back strap or a sandal on top of a sock. So yeah, they're a bit messy on that ankle joint. Not so much that one, but his foot's bent back. So let's get him. Have a look at him. So yeah, I've pretty much stood him straight up now. Another thing I noticed, a couple of the paints on the hand, it's not sloppy, but it's as if there's been a bit of a paint rub or overpaint on it, which we don't normally see shoddiness on these hand sculpts, but it is a little bit like that. Only on a couple of hands, not all of them. But yeah, again, if I'm talking about the eyes, I do think the method they use works really well. And I think here, some people have questioned, should the edge of the lens be a blue or should it be black? Now, in the comics, I'm sure it was black. Now, in the film, people are saying it was definitely blue. I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that. If you prefer the blue, I would say these are blue with a silver lens, where the Hot Toys one looks a black with a yellow lens. So it's pretty much which you prefer. But like I said, I do think the suit is really nice. Again, a bit of patience and posing it around, and you should get it looking proper Boatelli. But to put a score on it, now this is a tricky one, because if I score it high, it's going to look like I'm overlooking sort of the paint here, the fact that it does crease in certain areas. Oh, another thing I haven't mentioned, let me turn this round. Another thing I do like about this suit, and I'm going to find it hard at this angle, there's actually a slit in there, and it's like a massive back pocket, all that red band across there, and the suit then at back tucks in there. It only has a flap at back, so if you bent him really far forward, this flexibility through the suit, it doesn't stretch, it would just bring that flapper suit out, and then you just tuck it back inside the red band. It's hard to show because it fucking stands in way, but that was something I really liked about it. But when I go around the suit and I talk about the things that could be better, it starts me bringing the score down. So let me say like this: the overall material could be better. It could be a little bit softer, although, and I suppose I like how it looks, but you can't say it fits in properly because it sometimes looks a bit long here and on the foot. I don't understand what they've done with this hard section of the foot. So, plus if I get a massive score, it's going to make it look like it's as good as the Hot Toys one. And in all honesty, I don't think that is the case. And I can't remember what I give the Hot Toys one. I'm going to give it a 3. Like I said, in certain poses it looks really good, but it's really easy to make it look really bad. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I've given it a 3 out of 5.